History has repeated itself, and this time, it's even more embarrassing. Rory McIlroy's caddy, Harry Diamond, was spotted walking the fairways at TPC Southwind during the FedEx St. Jude Championship with a bib that read MCLLROY instead of the correct spelling. Yes, again. Just last year at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro Am, Diamond was handed an identical bib with the same double L blunder, prompting a flood of memes and the classic, "You had one job" reactions from fans on social media. And it didn't stop there. A similar mishap occurred back in 2016 at the WGC Cadillac Championship. It seems the PGA Tour's font department just can't get McIlroy's name right. But this year's blunder feels even more fitting, because McIlroy's week in Memphis has been an absolute struggle. The world number 2 opened with a disappointing 74 on Thursday and followed it up with a level par 70 on Friday, leaving him at 4 over par. He sits tied for 60th place, perilously close to the bottom of the 68-player field. The timing couldn't be worse. With only the top 50 players advancing to next week's BMW Championship, McIlroy is in real danger of an early playoff exit. Meanwhile, his playing partner, Scottie Scheffler, is dominating. The world number 1 shot a 9 under 61 to tie the TPC Southwind course record and holds a commanding 3-shot lead at 11 under par. The contrast couldn't be starker. One player is cruising, the other is sinking. So how did this happen? Why does this keep happening to McIlroy? And is the caddy bib blunder an omen for his playoff hopes? Buckle up. We're breaking it all down. The blunder, the history, and the stakes. Because when Rory McIlroy's name is misspelled for the 3rd time, you know the golf world is paying attention. During the second round of the FedEx St. Jude Championship, eagle-eyed viewers spotted something very wrong on Harry Diamond's caddy bib. Instead of the correct McIlroy, the bib read MCLLROY, an extra L that turned the 4-time major champion's name into a punchline. It's not the first time this has happened. In fact, it's the 3rd known instance. In February 2024, Diamond wore an identical MCLLROY bib at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro Am, prompting a flood of social media reactions. Fans joked that the PGA Tour saw LIV Golf misspell Jon Rahm's name as John and said, "Watch this." But the 2026 blunder might be the most embarrassing yet, because McIlroy's performance has made it a perfect metaphor for his week. The Northern Irishman opened with a 74 on Thursday, then followed up with a level par 70 on Friday, leaving him at 4 over par. He's currently tied for 60th place in a 68-player field, dangerously close to the bottom. The only bright spot? His caddy's bib isn't the only thing that's misspelled. His scorecard is the real problem. The 2026 blunder isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a pattern. The first known misspelling occurred back in 2016 at the WGC Cadillac Championship. Tournament organizers misspelled McIlroy's name not only on his caddy's bib, but also on a score sign. McIlroy's caddy at the time, J.P. Fitzgerald, covered the error with a towel before eventually receiving a corrected bib. Then came February 2024 at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro Am. The same mistake, MCLLROY, appeared on Harry Diamond's bib. Fans immediately took to social media. The key here is that it was close. Only one letter is off. That's almost 90%. The PGA Tour saw LIV spell Rahm's name wrong and said, "Watch this." More concerned that Rory is referencing the rule book from 5 years ago. And now, in August 2026, the FedEx St. Jude Championship has resurrected the error. Theories have emerged about why this keeps happening. Some have pointed out that in certain fonts, a capital I and lowercase l look nearly identical, potentially causing the substitution. But that doesn't explain why the same mistake keeps happening to the same player. The caddy blunder is just the cherry on top of a disastrous week for McIlroy. He arrived in Memphis after a 3-week break from competitive golf, during which he spent time in Ibiza and Greece with family and friends. A little rust was perhaps inevitable, but his performance has been alarmingly poor. Thursday, McIlroy opened with a 74, leaving him near the bottom of the leaderboard. He struggled with his putter and couldn't find any rhythm. Friday, he carded a level par 70, but it was undone by back-to-back bogeys on his final 2 holes. He finished the second round at 4 over par, tied for 60th place in the 68-player field. The field, Scottie Scheffler, McIlroy's playing partner for the first two rounds, is on an absolute tear, shooting a 9 under 61 to tie the TPC Southwind course record and take a 3-shot lead at 11 under par. The stakes: only the top 50 players in the FedEx Cup standings after Sunday will advance to next week's BMW Championship. With 68 players remaining in the field, McIlroy is at real risk of an early playoff exit. McIlroy's struggles raise questions about whether the 3-week break affected his game. But for now, he's left with plenty of work to do if he's to salvage anything from this event. It's worth noting that McIlroy has always defended Harry Diamond, even when the criticism has been harsh. Diamond has been McIlroy's caddy since 2017, and the two are close friends. But Diamond has faced significant criticism over the years, particularly after McIlroy's one-stroke loss to Bryson DeChambeau at the 2024 U.S. Open. Tiger Woods' former coach, Hank Haney, suggested that a different caddy might have spared McIlroy from the loss. If Steve Williams was Rory's caddy, I can promise you he would have never hit a perfect flighted 7-iron that rolled over the green on 15 into a terrible lie, because he would have hit an 8-iron and sent it straight up in the air and held the green. McIlroy dismissed the criticism. It's certainly unfair. Just because Harry is not as vocal or loud with his words as other caddies, it doesn't mean that he doesn't say anything and that he doesn't do anything. Someone said to me once, if you would never take advice from these people, you would never take their criticisms, either. After winning the DP World Tour Championship in 2024, McIlroy praised Diamond. He gets his fair share of stick, and it's not warranted. He's an amazing caddy and the best friend I could ever ask for. Earlier this year, McIlroy even snapped at a fan who blamed Diamond for a missed putt during the Genesis Invitational. The fan suggested McIlroy should blame his caddy, and McIlroy responded with "Shut the F up." That's loyalty. McIlroy has 2 rounds left to save his playoff run, but the odds are stacked against him. The leaderboard: he's 15 shots behind Scottie Scheffler at 11 under par. A comeback for the win is virtually impossible. The cut: there is no cut at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. All 68 players will play the weekend. But McIlroy needs a massive surge to crack the top 50 and advance to the BMW Championship. The pressure: McIlroy is outside the top 50 in the standings. He needs to climb at least 10 spots to keep his season alive. The Caddie Blunder, the MCLLROY bib, has become a symbol of his week, a reminder that nothing is going right. But if McIlroy can shake off the distraction and play his best golf, he still has a chance. The heat: temperatures at TPC Southwind are expected to reach 100 degrees over the weekend. McIlroy will face brutal conditions as he fights for his playoff life. The question is simple: can McIlroy turn his season around, or will the MCLLROY blunder be remembered as the fitting final chapter of a week to forget?